States each year, we throw away 40 billion tons of food, and it would take only 4 billion tons to feed everyone in the U.S. And there are 12 million empty luxury housing units in this country. That's more than the entire housing stock of Canada. So what is to be done?
This is a very big country, and the scale and scope of poverty and economic deprivation and so forth is very big. So to have a big problem resolved, you got to have a big solution.
I think that we need a movement of regular people, poor people.
Para acabar con toda esta injusticia que existe en el trabajo.
We need this movement for folks to be able to become educated.
Never before we've had such wealth in human history as we have now in this country. And so the question of elimination of poverty is possible and doable, but it will take a mighty, mighty organized movement with a dedicated purpose of abolishing poverty and providing opportunities for all people. That's what we need a movement for.
There's nothing new about poverty. What is new is that we now have the techniques and the resources to get rid of poverty. The real question is whether we have the will.
We need a movement because the people in power control everything. They have the money, they have the resources to get what they need. What we have is people power. There are 85 million people living below the poverty level in this country right now, and 7,000 are falling into that category every day, and they don't know what to do. They internalize it and blame themselves, when in reality, this is our planet. God put us all on this planet to share equally, and that's what this campaign is about.
So get ready to join the Poor People's Economic Human Rights Campaign. Be careful when you put down your money and buy your ticket. Many groups may say they are for the poor, but are they led by the poor? The American Revolution was led by the people most directly affected, the colonists. The fight for women to vote was led by women. The strikes that built the labor movement were led by the workers. The civil rights movement was led by African Americans. So who should lead the fight to end poverty? By 1967, Martin Luther King was moving from a fight for civil rights to a fight for economic rights.
We read one day, "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But if a man doesn't have a job or an income, he has neither life nor liberty and the possibility for the pursuit of happiness. He merely exists."
King was killed before he could build his Poor People's Campaign. His dream is now in all of our hands. We are poor and we are everywhere. We have the right as human beings to our basic needs.
Somewhere I read of the freedom of assembly. Somewhere I read of the freedom of speech. Somewhere I read of the freedom of press. Somewhere I read that the greatness of America is the right to protest for rights.
We have the right as members of society to influence, and if need be, to change our government. We have the right to think for ourselves and to fight for a better world. A world without poverty.
Earlier, a big protest today paralyzed South Broad Street for much of the afternoon.
They didn't have a permit, but that didn't stop them. They were told they could face arrest, but they didn't seem to care. Indeed, it would have been difficult, if not impossible, to arrest the thousands.
Of course, you can't do any of these things while you're sitting in front of a television.
president's house and I took back what he stole from me. I took back my dignity. I took back my humanity.